Hi humans, it's still Hannah in seriously harsh lighting, but we're gonna make it work. So we've got the mid-year Freakout book tag today, and I've taken a lot of the classic questions and I've kind of eliminated some of them, and I've also added a few that I saw on different people's posts. You'll see. So the first question is the best book you read so far in 2023, but I'm also going to combine that with the second question, which is the best sequel you read so far in 2023, because my two favorite books, I think, so far of the year happen to be The Arm of the Sphinx and The Hod King, which are books 2 and 3 from Josiah Bancroft's sci-fi fantasy-ish theory series, The Books of Babel. And first book was Sun and the Sens. I really enjoyed it. I read it at the beginning of the year, and then I read books 2 and 3, which I loved immensely. And then book 4, The Fall of Babel, I liked. I just still had questions at the end of the day, or at the end of the book. So I don't think it's the best sequel. Like, it's a really good sequel, and it's an incredible book. It's just, I hate that we still had questions, but I suspect that it's because we might be getting additional answers later. But if we don't get additional answers, then this will be the book that I will answer for another question, which is the biggest disappointment of the year. Because if we don't get more in that world, then that will have just been a very lazy ending to an otherwise exceptional series, and I will be very upset. So we've just answered 3 questions in one. So I finished 19 books this year, and I am behind, 17 books behind of my goal of 75 books, but I'm currently in the middle of 10. So I feel like that should kind of give you an idea. Actually, I do have a book that kind of also disappointed me a little bit. I don't have it on me right now. Like, I was so, like, I really didn't care, to the point where I was just like, I'm just gonna leave it behind, and I traveled without it. And I'm kind of considering DNFing it, and that is I Want to Die, but I Want to Eat this food, which I can't pronounce. I can't. It's by Baek Se-hee is the author. It's a Korean author, and I can't pronounce the name of the food or the food or the author, but it's translated by Hyacinta Luisa, and I'm butchering everything in this title, but I just thought this was, it's meant to be like a sort of memoir, half self-help situation, where it's just like meant to be about her mental health journey, and I just found that I don't care, and I think I would say that that's actually my biggest disappointment, because I thought I would really like it. The next question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and for that it will have to be Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I'm really looking forward to reading this soon. It's on my next in line pile, which has just like 3 books in it, so it really is next in line. So I'm really excited to read that. And then my most anticipated releases for the second half of the year will have to be Defiant by Brandon Sanderson, which comes out end of the year, so around November, I think, September, November, something like that. And it's book 4 in his YA Skyward series. It's a sci-fi series, and I love it. It is so fun. It's funny. It's like super adventure action packed. There's like a mystery that you're following, and you're kind of uncovering these storylines, and there's like the politics of the different planets, and it's just, or the different species, kind of. It's so good. I personally love it. And the next is Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, because she is one of my favorite authors ever. And I'm so excited for this one. Apparently it's like a mix between inspired by Mexican horror films and Nazi occultism, and I am so excited for it. I love the way that she mixes history and just weird horror gothic elements into just sublime literature. So I'm really, really excited for that. And then the next question would be my biggest surprise of the year. And I'm having a hard time placing what my biggest surprise is. I think I'm not done with this yet. It's Serious Concerns by Wendy Cope. Not done with it. It's a poetry collection, but I am surprised at how much I like it. I'm only about a quarter of the way in, but I really, really like this so far. So I think this is a pretty big surprise, because I have been really iffy about, like, it's very hit or miss for me, but these so far I've enjoyed pretty much every poem so far, which says a lot because I'm really picky with my poetry. And the next question would be a new favorite author. And I don't know if I've only read 2 books by Celeste Ng, Little Fires Everywhere, and I think I Never Told You, but I now acknowledge that I really enjoy her writing, especially because I'm not a big contemporary reader. So it's really nice to see that, you know, I'm actually enjoying a contemporary author's writing so much. And I would say Josiah Bancroft, but I read 4 of his books, but they're all in the same series. So I don't know if that really counts, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what else he writes. Another question that I don't tend to see very often, but I did see it on a post and I thought it was fun, is a book that's outside of your comfort zone. And I am now reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and I don't pick up romance, but I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I'm like a third of the way in, somewhere between a third and a half, and it's actually a good time. Like, I actually laughed a little bit. Like, it's not as funny as I find a lot of the sci-fi and fantasy that I read to be, but I still thought it was cool. So yeah, I think it's fun. We also have the question of the prettiest books that you bought this year, and I think I have quite a few books that I think are quite pretty, but these would have to be my favorite. This one's Happy Hour by Marlo Granadas, and this is Second Place by Rachel Cusk. And I was actually really on the fence between this one and the hardback cover that's like red with the painted tortured woman. And it's like abstract. I love this so much. But I think I would say that these are the two prettiest books that I bought this year. Last question is books to read before the year ends. And I will spare you the long list of books that I have decided I have to read this year. And I'll just give you a rundown of a few that like kind of really stand out. The first one is A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. And this is a historical fiction of sorts. And then Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. I just really want to get to this. It's contemporary. Obviously, it's Sally Rooney. Not much needs to be said. Five Survived by Holly Jackson. I really want to read this soon. I wanted to read it this summer, but a part of me is now like, should you leave it for the fall? I don't know. But I loved her trilogy, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I am so excited to see what this holds. I think it's a standalone, which would be, I don't know, I think it would be really exciting just to pick up a book that's like one and done. The next 2 books are Shorefall and Lachlan'S by Robert Jackson Bennett, and these are books 2 and 3 of the Foundry trilogy, which is a fantasy trilogy. And I would really just like to complete these 2 books this year so that I can complete the trilogy, because I just really want to be able to be done with a series. And there are a few series that I really want to just be done with and be able to pick up new series, because I'm kind of refusing to pick up and start new series until I finish ones that I'm already on. I'm also putting out a video soon, I think, of all the books that I need to pick up soon, like ones that I can't stop thinking about wanting to read. So you can stay tuned for that, but that's pretty much it for this video. If you read any of these books, I'd love to know what you thought of them in the comments down below. Other than that, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that really helps me out a lot. And if you want more content, you can click either video on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one.